latest edition of the SAU Softball Coaches Show. I'm Daniel Gallegos, joined alongside head softball coach Jason Anderson. And Coach, leading into this coaches show, you've got conference play up. A little early in the season it feels like, but everybody's starting conference play this week. So we'll go ahead and we'll kind of shift gears back a little bit, talk about some more recent action. The first 2 weekends of your season have been based on tournaments throughout the past few years. This year you opened up with the Invitational at home where you brought in 7 other teams. Had a great weekend, a great showing there, 6-0. And then this following weekend, the most recent weekend, pretty much everybody in the Central region and anywhere else around us, they all go to Bentonville and play in the UAM 8-State Classic, which is a great way for all these teams to come together in one centralized location more or less and play some in-region games that you wouldn't otherwise get to play. And also a chance to play some out-of-conference games. Weather was an issue there later on in the weekend. You were only able to get in 2 games out of the 6 that were scheduled, but those 2 games were very good games for you again. 2 more wins, 8-0 start to the season. Talk a little bit about that weekend in Bentonville.
It was a good weekend for us. Well, like you said before, when you go up there, you want to play 6 games if you can get them in, but the last day was canceled due to the weather. Saturday was some other reasons, so we were only able to get 2 games in. And we did what we were supposed to do. We went 2-0, played Fort Hays, and came alive there. And then also had a pretty good game against Wayne State. Got off where we actually behind early and had to battle back. And their pitching did a pretty good job against our lineup. But overall, was able to get the 7-3 win there, which was 2 big in-region wins for us. So the girls responded. They did well in the 2 games that we were able to get up there in Bentonville. And we think that it was a great segue, if you will, into conference this weekend as we host Oklahoma Baptist.
You know, if you look at the first 2 weekends, obviously the offense has been there, but one of the things that maybe is much improved based upon last year as far as at least the results that you're getting right now and the numbers that are being put up is the pitching. And you've been able to just to really go with 2 arms. Miranda Cuff got in there and got an inning of work, a pitcher from the last couple of years, but the 2 that have really been the workhorses in the circle for you have been Kimmy Beasley and Kaylee Garner in their 2 games that they were able to pitch in this past weekend. Kind of doing what they've been doing. So what has it been like having those 2 pitchers in the circle that they weren't there last year and you're off to the 8-0 start?
It's huge. I mean, anybody that's been around fast pitch long enough will tell you it starts in the circle. If you have a pitcher that can give you a chance to win, you're going to be in every game. And like you said before, the offensive numbers have been great. We've had some favorable weather conditions and things like that, so where the hitting has been really, really strong for us. But the reason that we're 8-0 is because we've been taking care of business in the circle. These girls have been dominating their opponents, and Kaylee came out against Fort Hays and gave up maybe 1 or 2 hits, no earned runs in 4 innings. I think 1 runner got to third base. I mean, she just really did what she did. Kimmy had her roughest outing of the season, if you will, which is kind of good that we're saying that because she gave up 1 or 2 earned, but still struck out 10 batters. And we were playing on a field up there that we were one of the last game of the day, so the mound wasn't in great shape. And long story short, she just wasn't on balance and didn't feel like she had everything she could, but basically dominated their lineup with pretty much throwing 2 pitches and was able to strike out 10 of their batters. So that's exactly where our success lies right now. And I'm not taking anything away from our offense or our defense. We're going to have to pitch it well. We're going to have to hit it well. We're going to have to play defense behind those pitchers. But right now, when those 2 girls are throwing and those arms are in the circle, we know that we have a chance to win, and our team's really responding.
Coming up, you've got conference play. GAC newcomers Oklahoma Baptist will be the first 4-game series that you play. It's at home back at our beautiful new SAU softball complex. Still a little bit of construction going on, but the playing surface itself and all the immediate amenities are there and operational. So bringing some teams back there will be great. Coming out of a little bit of non-conference play where you have these tournament settings and you're playing 1 team each and getting 6 games, switching over and getting into a conference series to where you're playing a team 4 times in a row. What are some of the, challenges with that, knowing that you're going to play the same team 4 times in 1 weekend?
Well, there's challenges on both sides of the ball. First, offensively, if you have a little success early in game 1 or game 2, by game 3 or game 4, I mean, these coaches we're going to take, just like all of us, we're going to take charts, and we're going to know that if one of our hitters is really successful in the inside pitch, then we're going to start working them away, or vice versa. And then same thing with pitching. Your pitchers, are able to maybe have some success early in the series, and then when you're on your 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th at bat against somebody, I mean, it's like you kind of feel like everything they're throwing at you. So the 4-game series are tough. I definitely think we've benefited from the first 8 games of playing a different team each time, because they don't really get a chance to scout us, if you will. There's not film like in other sports and things like that. So we're able to just kind of go in there, and they're trying to just guess, in a 2 to 3, 4 at-bat setting about, what kids can hit and everything. So we've really capitalized on that. As we get into Oklahoma Baptist and, have to play that 4-game series, we're going to be ready. It's going to be all hands on deck, and we're going to have to, like you said before, we've mainly relied on Kaylee and Kimmy so far, but when you get in these 4-game settings, we're going to need some of the rest of our bullpen to step it up, and we're going to need them to get some outs for us.
Oklahoma Baptist, again, mentioned they're newcomers to the conference, transitioning from NAIA, but as a whole, that institution, they were basically all sports trophy winners of the NAIA, the entirety of it, the last 2 or 3 years, including last year. So overall, a very strong athletic department. They've had great softball, too, in years past. So what do you kind of anticipate out of them as they make the transition into Division II and, maybe playing us in the first conference series and kind of getting acquainted with the GAC and the landscape of which that is?
Coach Fink does a great job there. She's been coaching there back when I got my start 9 years ago as playing in AI school. She's been there since then, and she does a great job with Oklahoma Baptist. There's quality high school ball in Oklahoma, and she's able to recruit that area well, and I'm sure out of state as well, but she always is going to bring a good program in here. So they're going to come over. Their pitching is something I've noticed so far this year. They have a really low ERA as a staff. So we need to, we're going to have to, they're going to throw some good arms at us, so we're going to have to make adjustments and figure out what we can do to score some runs and to get on base. But they're always, like you said before, they're always going to compete. I think them being a newcomer, they're going to see that this conference, top to bottom, is going to be tough week in, week out. When you're playing somebody 4 times and you have the caliber of teams that we have in the GAC, I don't care what place you think you're in or what kind of lead that you think you have, it's never safe, and you gotta bring it every game. And we have a 44-game conference schedule. We have 11 other teams, and we play them all 4 times. That's a lot of games for a conference setting, and you got to bring it. If you don't, you can get in trouble really quick.
We appreciate it very much for your time. Again, that's head softball coach Jason Anderson. He and his Lady Mule Riders back at home this weekend for a 4-game Great American Conference Series against Oklahoma Baptist. It'll be a doubleheader on Friday, a doubleheader on Saturday. The doubleheader on Friday beginning at 2 p.m. and then the doubleheader on Saturday beginning at noon. Weather appears like it's going to be great, so be sure to come on out to the new SAU softball complex. And again, pardon our dust, there is still some minor construction still going on, but nonetheless, still a great setting to take in 4 softball games this weekend. Coach, we appreciate it and best of luck.
All right, thank you.